a very valuable livestock animal, but often overlooked in the agricultural sector. This is an animal that is in Zimbabwe currently is providing 3.5 million in terms of stocks overall, in terms of animals that we can find within the agricultural sector. And we find that of this 3.5 million in stocks, 90% of these animals are being reared and raised by smallholder farmers in rural and communal areas. This means this valuable animal is already being reared at such a valuably large scale in Zimbabwe alone. Nasi tiri pano tichitarisa production yembudzi nekukurisa nekuchengetedza kwembudzi muno muZimbabwe. Tiri kutaura tichiti tine mbudzi dzinosvika over 3.5 million muno muZimbabwe chete. 3.5 million idzodzo 90% yadzo iri kukuriswa nekuchengetedzwa nevanhu vanogara kumamisha nekuma communal areas vatinoti ivo smallholder farmers. From these smallholder farmers, very few are realizing the true profits of raising and rearing livestock animals such as goats. With that being said, farmers, my name is Annette Mtetwa. Welcome to another wonderful episode on Agric Connect, where today we talk about goat breeding and goat rearing. Now, if it's such a profitable market share, why do we have so very few farmers that are actually reaching maximum profitability? Today we would like to learn more about how to make as much money as we can from livestock rearing and livestock farming. Goats happen to be very hardy animals that can actually graze on their own. They feed off of things such as weeds, standalone grass that is growing on its own, and also any shrub and bushes that they can actually come across. They actually happen to be very good drought-resistant animals that do well in sectors and in areas where there is very little in terms of rainfall. With that in mind, as farmers, we are currently faced with climate change, with many periods where we're actually facing serious drought within the nation of Zimbabwe. Farmers are always looking for ways in which they can make money. Sevarimi tiri kutarisira kuwana nzira dzekuti tirambe tichiita mari chero nemunguva yekuti mvura inenge isiri kunaya tichiwana mvura yakakwana. Mukase dzinenge idzidzi dzinokwanisa kumiririra dzatinoti idzo dziri hadhi dzinoshinga munguva iyoyo yekuti tinenge tichishaya mvura. Ndidzo muka dzatinofanira kutarisira kuchengeta sevarimi kuti panguva iyoyo patiri kushaya zvimwe zvatinenge tichibata zvingatipa mari, tinenge tine mhuka dzedu idzi dzinenge dzichitipa mari munguva iyoyo. Njengavalimi siti kule zifuyo lezi ezinjengembuzi ezikwanisayo ukuzimela ngesikhathi sokuswelakala kwamanzi. Ngesikhathi lesi sokuswelakala kwamanzi sibona sisithi lapha izifuyo lezi zidla yonke into ezisitholayo. Sikungaba ngamahlamvu eziwadobhayo ngaphansi, kungaba wona umumbu esiwunikayo kumbe umumbu osalelayo nxa sesilimile laphana. Njengoba sisithi izifuyo lezi ziyazimela ngesikhathi sokuswela amanzi, kuqakathekile ukuthi sibe ngendlela eyokuthola imali njengabalimi ngesikhathi sokuswela amanzi. With that being said, farmers, we have a farmer who is a true testament, a living testament of what we are speaking about today. A farmer who has diversified his production, a farmer who is looking into various ways of actually diversifying his income as well. He does things like livestock rearing, he's got production also in the horticultural sector, and he's got other types of segments that he's holding on to. With that in mind, during the drought season, he's got his goats that keep him going. He's actually managed to pinpoint a way in which he can rear them and bring out the best quality through the best breeds that can give him good value for his money. We are going to be joined by our seasoned farmer in the next segment. Join us as we delve into his production and we delve into his processes to learn more about how he has managed this. Sizabe sesihlangana lo mulimi wethu osenelisiena ukugcina izifuyo lezi ngendlela eyanelisayo ukuthi athole imali enhle ngokugcina imbuzi. Ngatisanganei nemurimi wedu muchikamu chinotevera atidzidzise atiudze iye kuti pakuchengeta mbudzi ari kuwana sei mari yakanaka nekuchengeta zvifuyo izvi. Hello viewers, and welcome to our second segment here on Agric Connect on goat farming and goat rearing. Siyalamukela kusihlelo sethu esesibili balaleli bethu lapha esikhuluma khona ngokukhulisa lokugcina izimbuzi. Tinokugamchira muchikamu chedu chechiphiri pano pa Agric Connect patiri kutaura nenawu yekuchengetedza nekukurisa mbudzi. Nasi tinenge tina farmer wedu anonzi iye Daniel Rungani. Hi Daniel.
Hi Annette, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and thank you for having us again here on your very diversified farm.
Thank you.
We are here now focused on goat farming. We hope to learn from you today on the various aspects that come into play on goat farming. Daniel, tell us, what got you into this enterprise of goat farming? Is it a hobby? Is it a side hustle, as most know goat farming to be, or is this actually an enterprise that's bringing you money?
So goats takaona kuti something mbudzi dzakanakira kuti adzisi zvekuti unofanira kugara uchitenga chikafu every week, every month. Kuno kwakakura tine 226 hectares tinodzivhurira dzonodya, then dzikabereka wana wacho tinenge tichingowachengetawo vanenge vachitowedzerawo muflock. So takaona kuti iproject yakuti takanga tichidaro, but nekuwanda kwacho takataka kuti no, let's now get other breeds. Tikaona boa goat to increase meat mass, totangwanisa kuti dzikwanisewo dzishongedzeke dzisangoita dzedu dzemashona che.
Thank you for that tidbit, Daniel. Pano tiri kuona mune mbudzi dzakati wandei. Panodikwa housing kana kuti fencing yakaita sei inokwanisa kudzichengetedza, uye pamunodzivhurira dziri kudya chikafu chakaita sei?
Panongodiwa initially mbudzi hadzidi kunayo, hadzidi kutombowana kumvura. Saka panodiwa pano pekuti padzikapinda panenge pari dry. Uyezve panodawo pano pekuti mikono izvo takayisanganisayo nehadzi, asi toda kuti mukono inofanira kunge isiriwo pane madzimai, pane mbudzi hadzi idzi, then dzinofanira kunge dziri padzo dzoga nepasinganayi. Uye kana twana tudiki turi kuyamwa kuti toda kuzosvingawo patinenge tichitofanira kusara twega. Saka patinosara tega dzimwe dzaenda kunofura tofanira kusarawo tiri mumvuri tichingowanawo mvura tichizotokandoro kana tumashrubs nechi. Asi kuzhe kwadzinonofura uko takaona kuti dzinonyanyoda zvimashrub zvimwe zvakaita zvemadhorofia nemachi asi mauswa dzinodyawo hadzo. And panguva yatinenge ipapa muwinter matada kupinda topa tozotsvagirawo maprotein blocks oti tingosupplementawo nekuti inenge rakuitawo richinooma. Saka ndo patinotanga kuwanawo tumwe tumasupplement maprotein block nekumboisawo crushed maize for more energy, because chibage carbohydrates ndeye energy. Tongoisawo chibage netusoya kuti dziri muno mudzenyi chingotsengererawo, then zozoenda hadzo kunofura.
Okay, well understood, Koma Daniel. Thank you for that information. Then pamabreeds ndiri kuona dzakasiyana-siyana dzakasangana dziri muno. Mungatiudza kuti mabreeds ari kunyatsokuita kuchengeta munguva inoi mabreeds akaita sei? So
predominantly pano tine mashona breeds taingodzitenga muno mumalocally ndo akawanda. Then patazowana dzimwe maboa goat, first generation boa goat nestud reboa goat. Asi chatakazoonawo ndechekuti kana asvibile tapindawo muhead seizvizvi isusu hatina zvimwe zvadzinenge dzichiita, ende kana kusina macrops akawanda izvezvi kune wheat ako, asi kuiminda imwe iri kuzasi, kumwe kwese tinongodzivhurira around 8 dzofanira kunge dzavhurirwa zoenda hadzo dzinofura. Saka takangonzwa vamwe vachiti dzinonetsa maboa goats, hatipandaita research ndaiona kuti dzakagadzirwa paSouth Africa apa, ende climate yedu dzakasiyana nadzo patadzanyanyosiyana, saka dziri kuadaptawo zvakanaka nekuuya kwadzakaita. Asi tinongogarawo tine maantibiotics in hand kuita kuti dzikangoratidza kuti dzakudaita kaweakness kana kuti pane chimwe chauda kuitika tadzibaya edu mainjection. asi kukufura ndo main diet yadzo pano. Todzivhurira kuma-around zuva richangooma izvezvi tikangodzivhurira kuma 9-10 then tozodzokana kuma-4 dzichingonofura.
Majekiseni eya munenge muchibaya, pane zvirwere zvatingati zvinonyanya kunetsa pachifuyo ichi zvinofanira kutarisirwa nevachengeti vadzo kana kuti vamwe varimi kunze ukoko vazive kuti zvirwere izvi zvakakosha kutarisira nekuziva nekuva noruzivo pamusoro pazvo. What diseases or prevalent diseases and pests are they meant to look out for as goat farmers out there?
So yeah, they are just like cattle. After every fortnight, you need to spray them. You have to dip them. Then there's this which we call foot rot, which happens when they damp and we don't clean the house and where they sleep in, where there are proper pens, but where there's roofing. So it needs to be dry there. Then there's this what we call purple kidney. So you have to once a year you have to inject them. Then soon after when they change their diet, there's some medical requirement as well.
Okay.
From moving from the dry to green or green to dry.
Those are some important keynotes to take away. Then, since they are drought-resistant animals that forage mostly, mumwe murimi angazoya here achiti ndiri kudzisustain nekuforager kwadzinoita chete kana kuti that supplementing yamunoita iyo iri necessary, or is the supplementing only applicable kune ava vachazodzitora vachizotengesa nyama yacho?
Dzatinenge tauda kutengesa dziya tinotodzifetena, tinotodzitengera chikafu kana tinotodzimixira chikafu chadzo dzega kuti dzikwanise kuenda kumarket dzakafetena, satoita kunge semi-penned fattening. Then idzi dzinenge dzagara dziri munomu idzi tisati taane aya mabhua goat aya nemakala ari red mamwe atakazowana ndo patakazotanga kuona kuti aya matumbu haasi kuzara aya, asi tine dzedu dzemashona idzi dzaingorla bundo roga, asi patakazotanga kuona kuti no, let's now include these my exotic breeds. Patakaona kuti sometimes patodzoka unofura kumatumbu anenge asitorina chinhu, so topatatanga kuti tichienda kumana vet supplies tikaitoita sei neuyedu kuti apada mavitamins, tabaya mavitamins ovati chiitanga ikuisa a bit of maize. Saka maize is not a problem because we have cattle, we have pigs and broilers. So that's when we get some of the maize. But then certain feed per side to put for the goats. But if you want to go for the indigenous breeds, some farmers they just go strictly just grazing without supplementation. But you need to have those medication now.
Tiri kunzwa muchitaura kuti indigenous breed, momboti exotic breed, pane musiyano here pane mabreeds ayaya, and tiri kuona kuti tine rural farmers anochengeta mbudzi idzi, poitawo some communal farmers who are actually getting into commercial production for these. Would you tell us more about indigenous breeds or what you know? Please just delve more into the breed types and explain between the indigenous and the exotic types and the advantages of having both.
Okay, so for the indigenous breeds we have the Mashona and Matebele. Matebele is mainly in Matebele land as the name, then Mashona is mainly up Mashona land and whatnot. Yes. Then these ones they don't grow tall or long. They are usually just short, and zinga short base. Then the normal goat, right? Then the Boer goat is the one which was made in South Africa. Though in a big frame, in a bigger frame, in nyama even unoyasoona kuti apa papaita zvembudzi apa yakareba rakakura. And disadvantage yaro ndeyekuti harina kuzo climate harinyanyo adapt, but since tiri muZimbabwe hatinyanyo siyana South Africa, asi rinoda some special treatment because it's not from here. Mashona edu they are accustomed like generations and generations dziri muno dzichiadapta kuti no zuva rinopisa kadai kana tamuinda tinodai. So these ones now they need to be acclimatized and learn and conditioned to understand their new environment. Then the Kalahari red is similar to the Boer goat, but then it's much bigger, but then it has a shorter frame, different from the Boer, which is a bit long. It's a longer frame, yeah. So the major advantage with the exotic ones, they get more meat mass. You get more meat mass. Unlike from these ones, if you slaughter the Mashona or Matebele is a bit bigger than Mashona. If you slaughter the Mashona today, you might get between 20 to 30 kgs of cold-raised mass. Of which, if you slaughter the Boer goat, you might get between 80 to about 90. Yeah, cold raised, but that's the difference. So if you now have a first generation now, the kid that comes from the Boer goat and the Mashona, they might be between it might get you to 50 to 60 cold raised mass. So we now want to improve our meat mass now because we also want to sell them for meat. We don't want to keep them for milk. We have an abattoir close by, so we just thought if we rear our own goats here, we can actually just have guys just move them on food like our guys and our abattoirs on slaughter. So we are closer to the market also, so that's why we thought, why not? Just go for the goats, yes.
So I understand you're not actually rearing them for their milk production as well.
Not milk.
What about the skin? I understand the hide has some benefits that it has in terms of value addition. Are you selling their hides off, or it's not something that you ventured into as yet?
That's a good idea, but then I think we'll start implementing it because this is still a bit substantial, but then we are going to start, maybe if we get ahead up to 200, 300, and when we even market it, if we're telling someone that we have a product, we know the supply, is it going to be constant? Exactly. So that they also plan,
That's definitely something important to note when you are getting into markets. So outside of that, the female goat, how many kids can it give you in 8 to 12 months or a year?
So a lot of people say 3, but it's 2 per year. The other one is earlier the next year. Okay. So it's 2. So you just have to work with 2. Then with the Kalahari red one, you actually see pictures online going 4, but here it just gave us 2. But then there were some issues, so we lost all of them. So we need to improve on that. But here we actually had 3 with the one we had here. Then the other one, our usual Mashona, they go usually 2 and 1.
Seeing as we noted that we have different types of breeds here, you actually have a male exotic breed, which you said is your Boer goat, and you are breeding it with some of these Mashona types that you have within your crow. Please tell us more about crossbreeding and if it has any effects on the final product that you have. Mambotaura nyaya ye final mass index kuti your exotic breed has a final mass index iri much larger than your your indigenous breeds. Saka kana ta cross apa final product yedu inenge yakamira sei?
We get the best of both breeds. So if it's now disease resistant, that's the best of the indigenous. Then now with the meat mass and the frame and everything, it leans towards the exotic. So it's the best of both worlds. So if you get the crossbreed, the mixed one, it's the first generation is usually good if you want to sell to the market and for you even to have it on your farm for grazing and whatnot, because it's easily adaptable as well, since it's also half the other side.
Okay, I think that makes sense. So as a final takeaway, how can we encourage our farmers as a takeaway point from you? Kuti watange kutarisa goat breeding and goat rearing is less of a side hustle, but more of actually a profitable enterprise that can give them good money for their returns.
The thing with farming is, once you start doing it, it eventually becomes a passion because you have to have the medication, you have to pay attention to them, you have to look at them, seeing my goats are not looking well. So eventually your emotions are going to be involved into it. So once you start loving it, you then understand the money now. You now understand which ones do I need to fatten right now, where do I need to sell them. So once you start getting money coming in now and revenue streams increasing, you definitely pay attention more to goats. But for us, we need to move from cattle. Like I understand a lot of people have cattle, but then these are just like cattle. So if we start viewing goats as more like cattle, it's a symbol of wealth. And most people say it's actually better than cattle, beef. So we should definitely get into goats.
So there you have it, farmers. Thank you very much for joining us on this segment of goat farming and goat breeding here on Agric Connect. We're always happy to have you. We hope you tune in on the next segment where we're joined by a seasoned expert who is going to go into depth and tell us more about goat farming and how we can make it more profitable as farmers. Siyalibonga balaleli wetu. Tinokutenda evatereri vedu nevavukeri vedu nekuva nasi neSuper Agric Connect. Join us on the next segment. Thank you. Hello, Tafara. Thank you very much for joining us today on this segment where we get your expert advice on goat production.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Thank you. Last time you shared some very valuable insights with us on piggery production, and I'm sure our farmers learned quite a lot from you. But today we want to hear from you, Teacher Farah. It comes as a worry that goat production hasn't been fully commercialized and is actually something that is leaning more towards our communal farmers who are rearing them, mostly as a side business to other types of commercialized farming. Why is it that you think goat production or goat rearing is still being underutilized in the nation of Zimbabwe at this point, and what is it that we can do to see to it that we increase the amount of farmers that are commercializing this particular sector of production?
Okay, so I think I can agree with you on that, and I think chirikuita kuti vanhu vave vasada kupinda mu goat farming, like what they are doing in terms of cattle production and piggery. I think it's the issue of markets. It's hard to find an off-taker where Wemboods. I'm not saying they're not there, but it's hard to some people. So vanhu kana vachita business vanoda kuwa na market iripo. So they don't want a hustle yekutanga kutsvagana nekuti mbudzi dzinotengewa kupi. And also I think in terms of goat there are mortalities akawandisa, mbudzi dzinofa. So ma farmers vanofana kudzidzisiwa about the management aspect yembudzi. I think kwandakambofamba ndinomboona kuti ma farmers vanorasikirwa nembudzi dzakawandisa. The reasons could be the management aspect and also especially panyaya dzekubayiwa kwembudzi. You see kuti vanhu chinouraya mbudzi might not be zvirwere, but the use of drugs. Mbudzi dzinenge dzichingobayiwa. So zvinokonzeresa kuti mbudzi dzife dzakawanda. So and also I think traditionally vanhu vaikipa mbudzi just for substance farming, kuti ndedze kungoona chete. They don't want to commercialize it. So people must be taught kuti there's money in goat production.
While we are keeping these goats, I'm sure they are growing in numbers. What is it that these communal farmers or the fewer people within the sector actually then do with these goats? Are they being sold for just meat and milk? And while on the subject of being sold for meat and milk, are there particular breeds that do well for meat production and particular breeds that do well for milk production? Or collectively there's just fewer types of breeds that are found in Zimbabwe?
No, dzakawanda dziriko dzinogona kuwanikwa. So pane nyaya kuti mbudzi dziwande, we have to move towards genetic diversity.
Yes.
We must introduce new genes.
Breeds, yeah.
Recently I think mukumbonza kusumuka kuita the boer,
yes.
And also the Kalahari, the red Kalahari. Then in terms of meat, I think my best advice is when a farmer chida kuita meat production for goat,
yes,
you need to do some crossbreeding. For instance, you can buy your Mashona goats, then you cross them with your red Kalahari, your boers, because that price can be affordable. Because you know unawana pa market unaitengesa some boy $300, at $400, $600. So for meat shinoguna kuneza, and also to start a breeding stock. Yekuti unotanga nemaboa 1000 kutanga nemaboa 500 mari yacho inogona kunetsa. So I advise kana iri for meat production kuti ma farmers are maybe to cross, at least uka cross a hard Mashona and a red Kalahari, you might get some bit of nyama there inenge yakawanda, then you can maybe increase my price zenye maybe $60, yes, $70 in terms of meat.
Okay.
Then in terms of milk production, there's this breed called Saneni or Sebo Saneni. That one mukaka rinobuditsa.
Yes.
And also farmers can also go into value addition. Panyadze, we've talked of meat and also talked of milk production, and you can see you can also produce some flavored milk, yogurts, cheese, and also maybe even the skin of the goat. You can also go into leather jackets, and also the hair. I'm hair for my brushes, my brushes. Then I've seen it maybe ku Botswana kuti vane sipo ye goat milk. So
yes,
there is a lot in value addition in terms of goat production. So yes, I encourage farmers to enter for goat production. Also they are also easy to keep,
yes,
but we are not removing the management aspect.
The management
Yes.
aspect. I see them being referred to as hardy animals, vanoti free rangers. Would you mind explaining to us what is meant by this term, yekuti they are free rangers and they are hardy?
Yes, they are hard in terms of feeding. They are browsers.
Yes.
Anoscavenger kwese and also in terms of feed unogona kuprovide ako supplement here and there, but they are compared to mombe, they are hard, and also zvirwere anombo resistor,
Yes.
which is good, but vaccination inofana kuitiwa,
Yes.
deworming inofana kungoitiwa, but so biosecurity in terms of goat production yakakosha inozoavoida zvinhu zvese zvakawanda. So I can say yes, I agree with you, they are hard, and also chikafu kuti anotsvaga kwese, but those izvozvo zvinoitwa kuma indigenous breeds.
Okay.
In terms of feeding, because you see mazuva ano kutoka zvimabhuwa zvima-red kalahari, you see the frame yawo ane nyama,
Yes.
so you need to put feed.
Yes.
And also asiyana our indigenous mashona breeds ekuti even in drought anokwanisa kusaika kunonzi kuuya pahiti kuti anokwanisa kubreeda pasina chikafu chakakwana. So you need to know kuti mbudzi dzandiri kudhila nadzo ndedzipi,
Which type
ibreed
and the
ripi.
breed,
So it's not kuti
yes.
mbudzi dzose.
What is your takeaway for women trying to get into this particular sector of goat rearing, and in terms of value addition, what can you say to a woman out there who is trying to get into this particular industry of goat rearing?
Now is the time to start.
Yes.
And also goat farming is a game of numbers.
Yes.
You can start with your breeding stock year 5, you can start with 10, you can start with 20. Before you know it, by end of year dzinenge double number. With good management dzinogona bereka ka 2
Yes.
kana ka 3 zichikupa vana 2. And also I advise even my youth nevanhukadzi to go into goat farming, and I'll go back to my point as well, even though they must also know the related cost, they must have the information regarding and also to do a bit of research in terms of marketing, because you don't want kuzoramba uine mbudzi uchida kudzibuditsa. So yes, and also again panapotora nyaya dzevalue addition, there is more. Even vakada kutora dzemukaka, they will still make money. Even ukatanga kuda create your own butchery, uchitengesa goat meat.
Thank you very much, Teacher Farah. I've learned a lot, definitely, and it's quite clear that goat rearing is something that can be profitable if handled and managed quite properly. So there you have it, viewers. That was Teacher Farah Mugari again on goat farming. I think you've learned as much as I have that goat farming can be profitable when handled and managed well. There's all sorts of value addition that you can actually also add into your profitability as a farmer who is into goat rearing, from making your own cheese, from utilizing the milk, from utilizing the actual hide and the skin of these goats. There's so much that you can do when you venture into goat rearing. So I encourage you, farmer, if you have this seed planted already, get into it and explore. Also use the expertise and the consultancy that is out there to see how best you can get into goat rearing with as much profitability as possible. Thank you. My name is Annette Mtetwa, your host here on Agric Connect, bringing you the most valuable insights within the agricultural sector. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.